Hello, I'm Amber24, and I'll let my two fellow commentators introduce themselves if they want.
You go
I'm
first,
Princess
Brooke.
Madeline.
What's up? I'm Brooke, Castlevania World Champ, by the way.
All right,
Uh,
and we're here to show you a Castlevania Rondo of Blood 100%, so it should be pretty fun.
I guess start whenever.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll press game start right now. The timer's not going to start yet. Timing starts when I gain control of Richter, and I have a visual cue for when I can start a countdown with that.
So yeah, this is Castlevania Rondo of Blood, originally released for the TurboGrafx 16 only in Japan. Wasn't really available in the West until it came out on the Wii Virtual Console,
All right,
which is what
time's
Amber
in
is playing on.
three, two, one, go.
Good luck, good luck.
Thank you. So here we get to fight death for a little bit on horseback and carriage. This won't be the last time that we see him.
Mostly just kind of a get your feet wet kind of thing, as I understand it. But otherwise, there's really not much of a point to this segment.
Yeah, there really isn't. Like during the Maria only runs, you don't even get to play on that stage.
All right, this is just something that happens when you start a new file.
Mm-hmm. All right, so one thing you'll see a lot of with Richter is a lot of backwalking or moonwalking and a lot of backflips. So this is going to be how I move for the majority of the run as Richter. But he won't be in most of the run because there's another character we get to unlock that is quite faster.
And cuter.
Yes.
So yeah, this is the 100% category, which is there's three real main categories for this game. There's any percent, where you play as Richter the whole time. There's Maria only, which is a new game plus type category where you play as Maria only and clear all the levels, or you beat the game. You don't beat all the levels. And then there's 100%, where you start from a new game and beat all the levels, which showcases both Maria and Richter gameplay.
Well, you sort of beat all the levels. That's actually kind of the interesting thing that I noticed from watching the another one of Amber's runs was that you just need to unlock all the levels. As long as you've beaten the game and rescued all the girls and killed Dracula at least once, then really all you need to do is just unlock the last level, and the game counts that as 100%. Correct, please, by all means, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was what it looked like from the run I saw.
Yeah, it's... Oh, that was... not the phase I thought it was, but that's fine. That's not going to lose too much time. But yeah, that's essentially correct. I think the one thing that's important to point out is that in the middle of the run, I'll be fighting Dracula. That's not going to be at the end of the run, and the importance of that is that that needs to have happened in order to unlock the last and final stage. So the interesting thing about the run is that we won't even really watch the credits.
It's gonna be kill Dracula in the middle, reset, and then go back to level one. Go back to level 1 for a little bit. Because several levels have alternate exits that take you to different levels entirely. There's one, but then there's level 1, level 2, but then there's also level 2 prime, level 3 prime, level 4, and level 4 prime, and level 5 and level 5 prime, and Dracula is level 6, I think, right?
Something like should be, I think it's 8, but it's close enough.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, at the end of each boss fight, you'll see me take a lot of damage during it because other than one fight, bosses can't kill you after they die and do their little revenge attack. And since there is a countdown after each boss that kind of relies on your health and how many hearts you have, the less health and hearts I have, the quicker that timer will go down. Also, this is the second stage, and here is the infamous hallway of zombies. And they like to lag the screen on this version, so it's not the best, but I'll work with what I can work with. So the idea here is to try and go fast with the backflips, but it's still risky because you have all these enemies that'll show up on the screen. So sometimes you kind of have to take leaps of faith and commit to them. Especially this screen coming up here, because there's going to be all of these gaps that I'm going to have to jump across. Okay, see, I was unlucky with that pattern there.
And
that was a lot that spawned.
and they're not instant death gaps. They are one-way exits to where we don't want to go.
Oh yeah, that's not where I want to go, so I just need to die there. Okay. Okay, well now that I've recovered from that, and I've gotten the key again, this key is going to be very important, and there's going to be multiple keys in the run.
The key is actually the most powerful sub-weapon, believe it or not. Like, not even joking. It actually does a lot of damage if you keep one and just swing it in enemies' faces. And in the remake, there's an item crash version.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that for the remake. I still have to play that version. And here is Maria. Maria she's something special. You'll see her from the rest of the run onward after this stage. And don't let her small stature or cuteness fool you. She quite literally packs a punch.
A guardian punch, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Richter just asked what Maria's name is, and she takes this long to answer him.
Yeah, and hopefully you all out there are fans of anime, because this might be one of the most anime of the Castlevania games.
Well, until the DS.
True. But especially if you watch the credits for this game.
Which we won't be doing.
Right. But I guess at some point, maybe look up the credits for the game for both Richter and Maria, especially Maria. They're the best credits for any Castlevania game. Okay, here we can do a little clip there like that by just jumping off at a certain point from the stairs. Alright, coming up soon, we have a bit of an annoying boss fight. It's the Werewolf, and... Oh, that's not... Okay, there we go. Thank goodness that other heart is there, because I need 20 in order to do an item crash for this fight. It makes it a lot more manageable. But there's a certain pattern that I want the boss to give me, but it can abandon that or regroup with that pattern whenever it wants. It's something. Sometimes it'll like to stay on the ceiling like that. We don't want that to happen.
No dancing on the ceiling, please.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's fine. One of the bad things that can happen there is that if it goes to the top left-hand corner of the screen, some of the rain actually won't hit it. And that's going to be all we're going to see with Richter. From this point onward, it will be Maria.
Yay, Maria!
And her way of movement throughout the game is quite different than Richter's.
Like most 2D Sonic games, the fastest form of movement is a spin dash. And you think I'm joking, but I'm not.
Yes, this is clearly going to be Sonic strats.
Oh,
So
and
just-
Maria has a double jump.
Yeah, which allows for a little bit of sequence breaking compared to what Richter can do, or what he cannot do. And so there's some sections of the game where enemies will fall from the ceiling or spawn from somewhere, but Maria doesn't have to deal with a lot of them because she just moves so fast past them. Alright, this is the Flea Man stairs, and sometimes they'll be nice, sometimes they'll be a big pain. Like there I had to stop to make sure that I wouldn't run into them. Also, this is the part of the game where you can really appreciate the soundtrack with Bloody Tears.
Yep. Of course, that's one of the high points of any Castlevania soundtrack.
And those moves I was using against that enemy there were the Guardian Knuckle that we were mentioning during the Maria cutscene. And in order to do those, you have to input up, down, and then down forward, and the attack button. So it's a little similar to like a Hadouken in Street Fighter.
It's also the teleporting fireball that Alucard does if you played Soten. Same input.
Alright, so up next is the Minotaur Boss. And like most of the boss fights from here on out, it's going to be a lot of Guardian Knuckles.
Which are conveniently not a sub-weapon, so they don't cost any hearts.
And see, the boss can't kill me there, but even though I have like a little smidge of health left, it won't kill me. There's only one fight later on, and that's going to be the shaft fight on stage 6. And there, to like stay that like higher up to grab the orb, you can do a Guardian Knuckle like that. It's kind of a fancy way to grab the orb. Okay, here I'm gonna go for a damage boost. Hopefully I get it. Wow, okay. So there I was a little bit too far to the left, I think, but all it does is save you going all the way to the right on the screen. Alright, this stage is kind of scary because there's a lot of obstacles in the way. Okay, that's not good. You can avoid that switch there, but it's just a little...
And it takes time.
Yeah. One of the scary things about it, though, is that if you have a flea man following you, it will and sometimes follow you while you're stuck there and kill you. So thankfully I didn't have one following me there. Okay. This screen can be troublesome at times depending on what RNG it will give you with the I don't know what to call that one skeleton. It's just like a skull on a spine that snakes around. That one can spawn at bad locations.
I think later games call it White Dragon. Or these guys are the other ones, the ones attached to the walls.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the ones attached to the walls are White Dragons, I believe.
Yeah, because I think in the DS Castlevanias they were called that. I could be wrong though. I'm bad with remembering which enemies have which names. All right, and this is Dullahan.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say it's a lot easier to keep track of enemy names when it's less variations of skeletons than bats, and they start including demons and such.
Okay, so this was the Dullahan Fight. The main thing with this fight is to make sure that you have enough health to basically crouch cancel the ice attacks and then Guardian Knuckle for pretty much the rest of the fight. If you stand too close towards him when you try to crouch cancel those, you can end up being knocked into his lance, and that's a lot of damage if that happens. Alright, so this is stage 5. We're going to be fighting Death on this stage, and this is the stage that we want to get to the alternate version of by the end of the run. So eventually at that point you'll see some similarities with the docks that'll be on that stage.
And we're actually gonna see some Maria sub-weapons, if I remember right.
That is true. That is much easier to do than with Richter. Richter has a hard time dealing with that sword there.
Can do a lot of No, go ahead.
Oh, it's just one of the parts of the run that using Maria seems to really trivialize some aspects of the game. And that's the portrait that if you touch it, it will kill you in one hit. And here there's going to be a lot of birds that pop up. Hopefully they play nice.
Or they'll be healed by your birds.
Yeah, it's a bird versus bird world here. Yeah, see, they can even spawn up there and try and snipe you out of a jump. Like, that one was just about to.
Rude.
Alright, with half health, I don't want to risk this at that much, so I will grab this. Usually in these little pre-boss rooms, there is health of some sort. Alright, so this is the death fight. It's one of the more random fights in the run, and I'm going to try and hit the top of his head with the bottom of the dragon sub-weapon, because it's going to deal the most damage that way. It's already a kind of risky start. Okay, that's fine getting hit there. I just don't want to get knocked off the boat. Okay.
About as clean as you can ask for phase 1.
And I managed to take a good amount of damage from the sides, which was good because I was at full health at the start of the fight, and you actually get penalized in a speedrun for having full health at the end, because if you have full health, you'll end with a no damage bonus, which loses you like at least 3 seconds when that happens.
So it's like even if you can beat the boss without getting hit, you don't want to.
Right. Or at least take some sort of damage before starting the fight. So this is probably the longest cutscene in the run. Here, Drac is talking to Annette, and
who is Richter's girlfriend. And Dracula's all like, "You're hot. Your blood will be delicious, and I want to turn you into a vampire. If I am evil, then so is the rest of the world." That kind of drama.
Yeah, and she basically threatens to harm herself so that she will never turn into a monster of the night. And then there's Dracula's long arm that I don't think is shown in any other game.
As someone in chat says that Dracula is really sexy in this one, and while I don't disagree per se, I think he looks even sexier in the follow-up.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Dracula going from this game and then going to Symphony of the Night.
And then in the remake of this one, he looks more like a Bela Lugosi.
And this is Shaft right there, kneeling in the doorway, and we'll see him coming up pretty soon.
Intruders have invaded the castle. It's those dang Belmonts again. We appear to have lost Brooke from the call. Okay. So apparently one of our commentators' book lost her power, and and hopefully it'll come back soon. But in the meantime, she'll just be a little bit quiet. Oh, and speaking of Shaft, time for a boss rush.
Okay, I delayed that last Guardian Knuckle, so I'm surprised I got that. Because that's the least amount of hits you can get away with as far as Guardian Knuckles go, trying to go for a quick kill. And so basically this is going to be a boss rush of essentially Castlevania 1 bosses, from what I remember.
Yeah, Giant Bat, Medusa, Mummy, and the Creature. And Death, but you've already fought Death.
I wasn't paying attention to the health bar there. I thought I already killed the mummy. Alright, so this is pretty good. A little fun fact here is that if I was to die to Shaft, which is not going to happen, you would then only still have to fight Shaft. You wouldn't have to fight the rest of the other bosses at this point in the fight. But if you die earlier on, then you have to fight all of them again.
And Shaft likes fighting with orbs. Like, that's his whole magic motif.
Yeah, like he even seems to keep that in Symphony of the Night. And so that attack there is the one that I need to make sure I pay attention to my health bar, because those will kill you if you're not careful. Okay, so coming up is stage 7, and ever since rescuing Maria, we haven't rescued anyone else, but we are going to on this stage.
Remember that girl from the cutscene? We're going to be rescuing her. And I believe that's all you need to do to get the good ending in this version. I'm not... I think that's right.
Well, pretty much just for 100%, you just want to make sure that you save all the girls and go through all the stages.
Right. And it's just, this is the first time since rescuing Maria that we actually have an opportunity to rescue one of the girls, because the other two are in alternate stages.
Right, and like we can only find the keys in like the respective stages that they're in.
Mm-hmm. And time for another anime cutscene.
And so this is Annette, who we just saw earlier in the cutscene after fighting Death. Trying to remember if this is the cutscene where she gives the thumbs up. It might be.
It is. Where the little girl has the hand of a full-grown man.
Yeah, it's like the same pose that Richter gives in his version of the cutscene. It's great. Which that's one of the fun things of the game is to go through with Richter and go through with Maria and see the differences in the cutscenes. But for the rest of this clock tower stage, we're going to see where Maria's double jump really comes in handy. Like, this climb here would take much longer with Richter. And if you think that was it for her usefulness with double jump, just wait until some later sections here.
I mean, there are very few places in any Castlevania game where a double jump doesn't make things a lot easier. I can't remember, is Maria's jump committal like Richter's is, or can you move in midair?
Oh, you can move in midair. You can kind of like shift your momentum, like I did there in order to grab that heart.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you have less of an opportunity to shift your momentum like that with Richter, and I feel not as effective. So this fight, depending on how you can have a stream setup, will either be visible or invisible because of the FPS thing. And so we're just going to use ping pong strats here.
The return of Shaft, the ghost of Shaft. And his undead minions.
Yeah, like there's a bowl that can come up from the ground. It's pretty sure it's the same one that we saw earlier in stage 2.
I don't remember. Yeah, I haven't really done this boss in a while. And here we are at the end, sort of.
Yes, very sort of. This is basically the halfway point of the run. So I'm gonna try and get a 3 cycle here with the first phase. That's pretty good damage right now.
Let's get an impromptu poll from the chat. What's your favorite version of Dance of Illusions?
That was really close, but it's okay. Alright, here's Cookie Monster form. Or second phase, whatever you want to call him.
The giant bat. The bat that walks.
Yeah, he doesn't skip out on leg day.
You're all wrong. The best version of Dance of Illusions is the Dracula X Chronicles version.
Alright. And that was the beginning of the cutscene before the credits, which sadly we don't watch. Because the run must go on. So now I'm going to go back to stage 1 with Maria, because there's an alternate exit there with a different boss than the Wyvern.
And it's just gonna be plowing through with Maria. These are actually the levels you'd see. Well, it's not, a lot of them are ones you would see in the any percent run because they're just a lot shorter.
Yeah, this is the route that you would be taking, like you said, with any percent or with Maria only, which is basically any percent just done with Maria only.
Yeah, the reason why they're separate is because, as you saw, as we're seeing now, the fastest route through the game is in the complete opposite direction of where you would go to unlock Maria. And so, as awesome as Maria is, she's not fast enough to make up for the detour.
Okay, so this is the water dragon fight that can give you kind of bad patterns. Okay, that's not terrible. Alright, I missed out on a Guardian Knuckle there, but I can still do this. Okay, so this is a pretty slow fight since that coil move was put out. Generally, you want to finish off this fight after 3 or 4 jumps. But the important thing is I didn't die.
Dying is generally a bad idea.
Yeah, generally I would say when like first learning this game, this is one of a bit more reset heavy fight because of the patterns that you can get. And if you're familiar with any percent or Maria only, generally you would see the ferryman on this stage to take you over to stage 3 without fighting any boss on the stage, but we're not going to go that way because we need to fight the boss here before heading over to alternate stage 3. Oh wow, that fireball was really close.
And like in the original stage 2, falling down would not result in instant death, but will force us down into an alternate route. In which case, we do have to die in order to get back on the route we want to go on.
Yeah, and some of the movement here is a little bit awkward because you can't just roll through all of it. There's quite a bit of platforming compared to some of the other sections of the run. Wow, I have a lot of hearts. Generally, I want to make sure that I have at least 3 uses here with the dragon sub-weapon, because I need it twice for this fight, and then once for the mini-boss on the next stage.
Quote-unquote mini-boss. It's not much of one.
Yeah, as far as I do the fight correctly, it's going to take just 1 hit to all 3 eyes.
It's also one of the few times that that Richter is just as fast as Maria, because the way the eyes are set up is that they perfectly line up with the arc of the axe throw. But we're jumping ahead a little bit. That was some sort of bone golem, I think. Well, was.
Right. Just a big mass of bones.
I love this man of many bones.
Up there toward the top left, there is a little secret area if you move the gravestone. So if I was to lose the dragon sub-weapon, I could get it again up there if I wanted to. That's not good. Okay. Everything's fine.
Run salvaged.
That fight can also be done with not too much trouble with the bird sub-weapon, but you really do want that one there.
I mean, the bird sub-weapon would mostly be good for that, for the left and right eyes, but still have to finagle to get to the middle. Or are we not talking about the sub-boss anymore?
Oh no, sub-boss is gone now, I think.
Yeah, sorry,
It's okay.
Anyway.
So this is Terra.
She's kind of a fanatic.
And there's the thumbs up.
Oh, there's the thumbs up.
I know, I still have problems remembering which cutscenes have what in it.
Yeah, you're forced to watch them, and you play this game so much that you think you know which one is going to be which one, and yet they just kind of get mixed around like that.
It's nice in the PS4 version, and I'm assuming the PSP version as well, that there are English subtitles for those if you have English turned on.
Actually, they are in fact dubbed in English. So,
Oh, that's right. I was forgetting about the dub. I think if you have it like on the JP dub, there will be subtitles as well. But I don't play on the PS4 version as much.
and I can't play the original version of on the PSP remake because it crashes during anime cutscenes.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, that kind of makes things a bit complicated.
I think I should have mentioned there that there is a quick kill that's possible on that boss with just 2 Guardian Knuckles, but really you have to kind of bank on the boss staying in place, like hovering at the right spot. But even without the quick kill, you can kind of adjust for it.
I mean, it's already gone, and you're still it's already gone, so you know.
It just happens so fast.
Yeah.
So coming up here is a little trick called Bridge Clip. There's these little frog statues you're supposed to hit, but we don't need to. We can just skip those.
That's one of the more arcane things about this game. I remember when I played through it. It was I played through this a number of times just trying to figure out what exactly you do, and then looked up a guy and it was like those statues? What the heck?
Yeah, a little bit cryptic. And this is Iris. She is the last person we're going to save in the run, and then from here on out, it's just making sure I get all the way through the end of alternate stage 5. Also here I'm going to take a intentional death because it's the quicker way of going back to the waterfall.
Alright.
And those mermen that pop up there, one of them almost caused me some trouble on the way to the little cabin there. Which they can be quite troublesome there, but usually they're not an issue on this stage. And here I'm going to take a little bit of damage because sometimes I have trouble taking damage in the boss fight coming up. So that way I'm not going to be full health. And coming up soon here, when the bird pops up, I'm going to do a little bit of an early jump. It looks like I'm not going to make it, but I should. That should be right about now.
That's a bit of a leap of faith. And the ferryman wants to be in the game whether you like it or not, apparently.
Yep, he's thinking, oh, you skipped me on stage 2, I'll show you. Okay, so this is a boss that you might have seen from Castlevania 2. And she's also in the Castlevania anime. I don't know why I'm blanking on her name right now.
Carmilla.
Okay, thank you. I swear I run this game.
She looks a bit different in the anime. Also, that's her girlfriend / thrall. Like, I'm not making that up. That's kind of her role in the story.
See, these are things about the lore that I still don't know. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how to describe this next stage here other than it has no boss, the stage is the boss. It's quite a stage. So this is going to be like my main like focus time section of the run, and you will see why. It's most certainly the most difficult stage in the run, and it's at the very end of the run.
Because, you know, you're on a good pace, and then something catastrophic happens right at the very end. It's always good fun.
Mm-hmm. Like, see those crows there can cause problems. Mermen can still pop up at the end of that screen. Luckily, there's health that you can grab there. See? Just as quick as that.
Medusa heads. Someone in chat asked, why is this game's OST so good? And that's probably because it's a Castlevania game.
Yeah, this is a little bit like stage 2 earlier, where there's some jumps where I just have to commit. Luckily, the screens after this one are easier than the first two. Here I've made sure I'm on a good cycle where I will make it to the end of the screen before another bat pops up. And here's the only section of the run where I want to belly slide instead of roll. For whatever reason, it causes less lag by a little bit compared to rolling.
That's interesting. You'd think it wouldn't make a difference.
I know, that's what I thought for a good while, but then I saw that the task did it, and I did some timing, and I was like, okay, I guess this is a thing. That axe moved that a little bit sooner than I hoped, and time is going to be coming up as soon as I touch this door. And time. And then after this stage 6 disappears, I can go back and show that it's 100% on the file.
Okay, right. So it's stage 6 that you just had to get to. You do have. Okay.
Right. You have to go through alternate stage 5. I should have made that clear.
Okay. I just remember you stop at the start of a level and just kind of thought, oh wait, but no, you do have to go through the stage. My mistake.
It's okay. And that's 100%. Does anyone know what my time was?
It was 40:28.
Okay. Not as good as I would like, but still underestimate.
Yeah, it's, I can't really complain about that.
Yeah, alternate stage 5 had its words, so to speak. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the run.
I did. It was a fun time. And now we switch roles. You're going to be doing the commentary, and I'm going to be playing Soten.
Yes. You all will get to see more of Maria.
Where instead of being completely broken and overpowered, she's kind of fragile and has to cheese her way through everything.